How you doing? This is Rod. Please remember to subscribe and like video, please. Today we're going to be working on a rocket. To be exact, we are working on the Alpha. Okay, and here is another line of list telling you what uh, tools you need to build this rocket. Um, some of this stuff we're not going to do today, like the primering and the painting. We're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to go with the basics and just gluing it together. And because when it comes to primering and painting, it's your call what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay. As for building this rocket, again, building the rocket is your call on how you want to do it. A lot of people do things different. They try to experiment, um, try to come up with something different. This is the basics on how to build the Alpha by the directions. Okay. Now this is all the supplies that come within the bag. Okay. We're going to turn the page here. Okay, we're going to be cutting these out. Or at least that one. This one here, it calls for sanding and cutting the plywood out. Or balsa wood, sorry. The balsa wood out. And that there is basically, it's asking you to, on this edge right here, this long one here, I'll show you it right here. On this edge right here, it's telling you to round it off. Okay, that's because when it gets attached to the rocket, it goes like this. Okay, it shoots up like this, the rounded edge. When it's squared like this, it'll break the wind, and the rocket won't fly like it's supposed to. Okay, these are the flights. I've already cut them out and sanded them. Okay, trying to get ahead of the game anyway. These are the flights, and if you notice, it has a dot on each side. That's telling you that this is the edge that gets glued onto the body tube. Okay. Now, when I cut them out of the wood, I cut them out of this wood right here. Okay, out of that wood, and you want to use an X-Acto knife like this to cut them out because sometimes I've just pop them out, and sometimes they come out. Quite often they come out nice and clean, but I have had a flight trying to pop it out like this, and it peels away. Like if you, like a 2x4 or something, if you try to break it and all of a sudden get a splinter, a long piece of sliver, you have to cut that off, but you still have that damage on the board that you have to repair, especially on balsa wood here. If you try to break it off and you got that little tang that follows it out, okay, you don't want that to happen on the wing because if it pulls off on the wing, you have to fill that in to be able to paint it and everything. I mean, this balsa wood already soaks up the paint when you paint it. This is a lot of the reason why I primer it, and I use a couple coats of primer before I paint it. Some people use called papering. Now myself, I haven't done it, so and you can experiment it as whatever you want to do. From my understanding, it's putting a layer of glue down on the balsa wood, putting the paper down on top of it to glue the paper on, and then letting all that dry and cure. You got to let the glue soak into the paper. I think I haven't done it, so I'm taking a wild guess. Got to let the glue soak into the paper, but I don't see how that would be a problem when you just put the glue down and the paper goes down. And then at the ending product, you sand it down again to make it smooth, and then paint it. Now I have from another sealer product that I got from Hobby Lobby, and no, I don't get paid for using to sand their name, but I coat it with the sealer to seal the grains, and I do that even before I primer it. Okay. So, but we're not going to be doing that on video here today. We are, in fact, going to be getting these things glued onto the body tube. So we're going to be doing these markups. I'm going to cut this pamphlet out here real quick, and we can mark up the body tube. Let me maneuver the camera here so you can... Sorry if it's all shaky. You're probably wondering what this is. Okay? This here, since... I'll show you on the deal here. You can see the rocket here. Okay? See how the flights are pointing down from the body tube? Okay? Now, I've made this system up so that I can still use it. Okay, and we're going to be using this when we go to glue the fins onto the body tube. But first, let's cut this thing out. Actually, there's nothing important on the other side. Okay, got that cut out. Let's clean this pamphlet up, or a template. Okay. Oh, dingleberry. These are the stickers that are going to be going on it. Okay. Some decals that come with other rockets, you have to soak them in water to get them to slide off. These here is stickers, just peels right off and stick them on. So, like I said, we're not doing that today. This here is the parachute that goes in the rocket. Again, it's all on the instructions here, okay, on how to attach that and all that. So, let's go ahead and get this fixed up. Start the body tube here. Now what I do is I use tape here. And it calls for this on the instructions as well. Now mind you, this is my style, the way I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and you'll get a way in doing it yourself. I enjoy building rockets. I've got several of them around the apartment here. Put this on there so I don't... Now to try to get this thing lined up here. Okay, I wrapped it down. You got this zigzag line here. Okay, that goes on down underneath. Then you got these lines here. You want to try to match up. Okay. And usually what I'll do is put the tape here. That way, when you get these lines matched up the best you can. I don't think anything's ever going to be perfect. Okay. That's typed up the best I got it. And other people can probably do it better. I don't know. Okay, then you got these lines here. Okay, that arrow right there. You got an arrow here, an arrow down here. FL is flight. Okay, so that's basically telling you that line there that's going to be going up and down, that's the line you want to glue one of the flights on. This arrow here says LL, okay? That is for the launching lug, or looks like just a tiny little straw. But that is for the launching lug that'll be getting glued on to the tube there, okay? And the launching lug, basically what that is, you have your launching pad, okay, and then you got a metal rod coming up from the launching pad, okay? You put that launching lug on top of that rod to hold the rocket there, okay, and then you got a bunch of wires going to the control box, okay? Now, that control box is actually hooked up to the motor, and I just seen a motor here. This here is the motor that goes with this rocket, okay? Like I said, everything's on the instructions, okay? If you read the instructions, it tells you the wire and everything else, the electrode and all that you hook up the control box to, and that's how you shoot the rocket off up into the air. But we're jumping ahead there. Let's go ahead and mark these. Okay, what I usually do is I mark a line on each end of this, and then off to the side, those letters that you've seen there on each one, I put right here. And because I'm using black ink, or black marker, because I see it better, okay, it's another reason why I do a couple coats of primer, because it covers that up, okay. Now, you got to do this one, each one, and definitely make sure you're marking FL or LL for flight or launch and lug. Because you have 3 flights and 1 launch and lug. And the last one. Now that you got those all marked, you can actually pull this paper off, and you can either keep it as a souvenir or you can throw it away. Either or. I mean, one comes with every rocket that you're building, it comes in the instructions. So you don't necessarily have to keep it around. Unless you want to design a rocket yourself, and you can keep it around in case you have another body tube or you want to design a rocket. You got a template there on how you want to do the flights, where you want to put them, so they'll be proper. So, I mean, it's up to you. You can keep it or throw it. Now, me, a little bit overboard on the tools, but it is what I like. Yeah, I fight this every time. What I think is simple for me isn't always as simple as for other people. Now, yes, I originally marked those with black ink pen so that I can see them better. And I'm erasing this because I've made mistakes and tried to glue it on the wrong line. Well, to me, this is probably the tedious part. And other people might have a lot easier way in doing it. I can almost guarantee people have a lot better way in doing it. Like I said, almost. I can't guarantee anything, but I can almost guarantee people have a better way of doing it. Okay, those are all marked up. Now that we got those all marked, what I'm going to do, this here comes in handy. Okay? Get everything kept up here. I don't like leaving a mess if I can help it. Okay. Put this over here. The stuff that we're not using. And please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, please. Okay, now, because these marks went all the way up to this end, we're going to bring it down here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to compress this just like that. Okay, now that those are compressed, we're going to compress these rulers. Yes, they're plastic rulers from the dollar store. And you got to make sure these are all lined up. Sometimes now, if you want to just... Okay, I'm back. Okay, you got to make sure these are all lined up, and I'm thinking you're getting the idea. I'll do one up for you. Make sure it's seated all the way down. And push these rulers up against it. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to get this clipped on here so you can see what I'm doing. And this will give you an idea. Now, like I said, everybody has their own way of doing it. You don't necessarily have to do it this way. If you can find an easier way of doing it, by all means, do it. Okay. Now, what I did is I put the flight. Okay. Now I'll show you the pen here. Okay, the flight is right, the edge of the flight, this edge of the flight right here, is right on the edge of the body tube right there. Okay. And this is the way the flight goes. Now, if you were to put these on the end, this is what those are made for, is to hold the flights in the tube. And since the flight goes on the rocket, okay, it would be sitting like this. Let me show you here. The flight would be sitting like this. Okay, and since it has this edge here has to be on the end of the body tube, the tube would have to be sitting up here. At the very bottom of it would be sitting up here to make these flights work. Okay, that's why I devised this. so that I can put these flights on and not have to sit there and constantly hold the flight until the glue dries. Okay, and that's what we would have to do on this. So you're getting the idea here. I'm going to go through and finish gluing this off on the nose cone here. I'll show you that one real quick. Because gluing these flights on, it can be tedious, time consuming because you want to do it right. On this here, there's a little tab there that's got to be cut out. And the only other thing that I got to do with this nose cone here is primer it up. Okay, there's that. And I cut that out right there because that is where the shock cord goes. Okay, the shock cord is a rubber band. Okay, now this here, I'm going to take my masking tape. In fact, I can do it now. What I do, and my cousin gave me this idea. You got the line here that it goes down to the body tube right there. What I do is I usually, and he, like I said, he gave me this idea. I usually leave about 1/8 of an inch off that line. Okay. Now I got a painting booth, or a paint booth, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a string onto this. That way I can let it dangle and spray paint it, and I don't have to rest it on anything. So now this here is ready for primering. Okay. I could primer and paint that up, because that one there is going to be red. Okay, this nose cone is going to be red. Okay. And yeah, when I make the video, you're going to see the finishing product. Okay, you're going to see the stickers on it. Okay, primering, you're going to see it painted and all that. So, but I'm just not going to do it here. And basically, yeah, you just follow the instructions here on how to do it. There's different things. Here's here's the instructions on how to put the flights on. Right there. Okay. Now, I mean, yeah. You can sit here and hold the tube. You can put the flight on the tube. You can hold it there. It doesn't really take that long for it to dry. Or not dry. But secure the flight. Then you go and put another flight on. Okay. And if you stand it up on end like this, having a couple flights will make it off balance. I mean, you can sit there and you can probably put all 3 flights on and stand it up on end here. But you still need to let it all dry. Okay, and have the glue cured. Then after you get the flights put on, that's when the motor mount goes into the tube, in which that's what my cousin's going to be doing. Because he has a different way in doing it. And he's going to be using a Teflon cord or something like that. So, but anyway, yeah. That's the basic idea of how to build a rocket. All the way up to the gluing part. I'm going to finish this one off, get it glued up, and done up and everything. And then I'm going to go through, and the only thing left on it is the primering on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done and have it ready to go to my cousin's so that he can finish it off by doing the motor mount and installing the motor mount, installing the parachute and all. Getting it to where all we have to do is, or all I have to do, sorry, is put the motor in it and shoot it off in the air. Okay. Now, when you put the motor in it, it does show right here. Let me put my glasses back on so I can read it. It does show right here wadding. Okay, wadding looks like, as a matter of fact, okay, this is wadding. It looks like toilet paper. It's a brown fire retardant paper. Okay, and this goes in before the parachute. And what that does is it protects the parachute from when the motor lights up and shoots the rocket into the air. The wadding there protects the parachute and all from the flames or the heat of the motor shooting up into the parachute and melting the parachute. And because the parachute is needed to assist the rocket in coming down, just like the space shuttle, the shuttle where the guys are coming. You need a parachute to assist in coming down. And if the motor burns this up, and I mean, yeah, it's made of cardboard and whatnot, but with the parachute and all that, if it comes down, chances are some chances that the body tube and everything will be burnt up to where it can't be used again or rebuilt. With the wadding, you can shoot this thing off several different times with no damage. Okay, it just protects the parachute. And yeah, sometimes you can just replace the parachute. I mean, you can get parachutes at Hobby Lobby. You can. I mean, I've gotten a couple of them there. So, but yeah, this is the basic idea of how to build a rocket. I'm going to get this thing completed, glued up, primered, and everything. Get it ready to rock and roll. And you'll see the final product along with building the motor mount and getting it installed. And then all the way up to where on the next video, be able to see it getting shot off. Or, you won't be able to see it getting shot off. I'm sorry. It'd be getting ready to get shot off. Okay. So, anyway. Yeah. This is how to build a rocket. And it doesn't usually take this long, except for I'm going through and doing this video. So, yeah, I use it to relax and whatnot. So, please, by all means, pick up a rocket. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. There's other stores you can get them at. Sit and enjoy building them. And have fun with it. Help it relax. It's a good hobby. Have fun with it. Yeah, again, don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.